Hey there, how there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Above the Rim basketball college version. I know there'll be an NBA version coming up soon. That's what I've been told. So this would be cool, and then I can get rid of PC Replay basketball. Nevertheless, we have Above the Rim basketball for you, and we are doing the 70-74 tournament, which means that, the season sets that I got by buying the full game. I picked the $120 version. I got the full game, I got the 1984 tournament, and then I got all these season sets and like decade sets. So we're going to be focusing on the 70 to 74 aspect. This teams from the 1970 season, 71, 72, 73, and 74 season. 32 schools getting involved. Here, one per season, of course. First off, we will play randomly. It's the 1970 Houston uh, Cougars without Alvin Hayes. He graduated a few years earlier against 72-70 Providence. And Providence with a 106-71 win. Aaron DiGregorio, former New York Knick, with 37 points. Stat with 19. Houston, they basically just had a 22 from Taylor, but that was all. 1970 LSU against 71 Villanova. If memory serves me right, 71 Nova went to the NBA Finals, NCAA Finals, lost to UCLA, and then got their tournament spot vacated because of Howard Porter's illegal plays. And they lose. LSU 91-89. Well, Pistol Pete Maravich, come on. You really think that Pistol Pete... I forgot. This was the one with Pistol Pete. I put LSU on because of that. I think I know that team. But yeah, Pistol Pete, 54 fucking points. Howard Porter had 25 points. He was named MVP, or MOP as they call it, but he ended up losing that award because of his stuff. So Maravich, 54 points. Good grief. Whoever faces him next will be weird. 71 USC against 72 FSU. I think FSU went to a final against UCLA, I think, right? Don't remember. Well, anyway, they beat USC 82-71 as FSU beating USC, not really a thing. In college football, you can't do that. Riley 16. Paul Westphal, 8 points, future Laker. And I keep thinking, yeah, he was the coach of Loyola Marymount in 1990 when Gathers died. But yeah, Florida State with the win. 70 South Carolina, 72 LSU. Louisville, sorry. What am I thinking? The Gamecocks win 73-58. Owens with 8 points. Roche with 31. Louisville, not really a lot of players. 17 from Lawhorn. Next will be 1970 Jacksonville, who went to the NBA final. Cutter, you're doing it again. It's the NCAA finals against the 71 Miami Redhawks. Yeah, the Jacksonville Dolphins. Yeah, Jacksonville went to the final. And they win this game, 91-78, as Artis Gilmore. Remember him from the Bulls and the Spurs? 26 points. Morgan with 28. Nice job. Miami of Ohio with no major stars. Like Sears had 20. But you don't have any recognizable guys. The UCLA team, I picked the 72 squad of all the UCLAs. They take on St. Bonaventure in 1970. And they crush them, 107-69. St. Bonaventure, 12 points. Main guys, 20. Swen Nader as a bench player. Larry Holyfield, Evander's brother, playing on that team. Keith Wilkes, Bill Walton, Henry Bibby, future Nick. Wish we had Walton and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the same team, but you can't have that. 20 points from Wilkes, 18 from Bibby. Mike Bibby's father, if you must know. 73 Marquette against 74 NC State. NC State, the team that broke UCLA's record of 7 straight NCAA titles. Was it 7? Yes, it was 7. And they beat UCLA in the semifinals in one of the most highly sought semifinals in history. And they beat Marquette. Marquette, Ryan Maurice Lucas with 33 points. Al McGuire, I think that's the son of the coach's son. NC State, Tim Stoddard, 10 points. People forget that Tim Stoddard played for this team, and then he became a player for both the Orioles and the Padres in MLB. In fact, he's the main closer for the Baltimore Orioles Legends in OTP. David Thompson, 22 points. He was great in the ABA before coming to the NBA. Tom Burleson, 24 points. Monty Toe with 12 points. 73 Indiana, 72 Virginia. Sees Virginia win 98-90 as 22 points from Park Hill. All starters had 16 points. As for Indiana, Quinn Buckner with 6 points. He'll get better with age. Arkansas got a team, right? Did Arkansas not get a team? Well, anyway, 74 Michigan against 71 Ohio State. Great rivalry, randomly drawn in. OSU wins 78-73 as 23 from Clemens. Michigan with Cassie Russell with 20 points. That can't be right. Cassie Russell, I thought, played in 65 with the team. That can't be right. Cassie Russell? No, that can't be right. Can't be Russell. Cassie's brother. Yeah, I was like, Cassie Russell was in 65. 71 Kansas against 71 Fordham. And Kansas survived 79-77. 29 points for Yelverton, not enough for Fordham. 27 by Robesh. Cavisto and Douglas there. 71 Western Kentucky against 74 Maryland. Now, back in the days, before 1975, each each conference had one automatic bid into the final and like no major at large. So when Maryland played NC State for the ACC title, and these two were like top 5 in the nation, but one of them had to lose and not to get into the NCAA tournament because of how big that game was with Maryland losing to North Carolina State, 103-100. The NCAA decided to put at-large bids for the big conferences. And Maryland wins 84-80 over Western Kentucky. Tom McMillan, 27 points. Lan Elmore, future GM and commentator with 7 points. John Lucas with 18 points. 29 from McDaniels. Western Kentucky was big in 71. I can't remember who they beat. 73 Kentucky against 70 West. Let's go, Jeff the Kid Diamond. Kentucky beats New Mexico. Samoji, 19 points, 22 from him. 20 from Connor. Gravy with 11. Flynn with 5. And Derwitz with no points. Not really a Kentucky team that had a lot of players. 72 Louisiana. That's Louisiana Lafayette against Tennessee State. And it would be Tennessee State who will move on. The historic black university or black college, HBC, looking pretty good. 27 for Lamar. So yeah, the Raging Cajuns against the Tennessee State Tigers. Tennessee State wins. 70 Notre Dame against 71 UMass. And it will be Notre Dame. Yes, Notre Dame wins 86-65. Austin Carr with 30 points. He would become a legend for Notre Dame and the Cleveland Cavaliers, becoming the first Cav to get his number retired. 24 from Jones. 24 from Dr. J. Oh, yeah, he played. I know he played for UMass, but he played in 71. Okay, cool. Anyway, 72 Minnesota, involved in one of the biggest brawls in NCAA history against Ohio State, if memory serves me right, against Long Beach, who gave UCLA fits, I think, a couple times. And Minnesota wins. 10 points from Jim Brewer. Turner, 25 there. But look at the guy who had 16 points for Minnesota. 6 for 8 field goals, 4 for 6 free throws, and 2 fouls. Yes, that D. Winfield is also another baseball star, like Tim Stoddard for the 74 NC State Wolfpack. It is Dave freaking Winfield. That's right. Dave Winfield played for the University of Minnesota in many sports, including basketball. He was actually drafted, I think, by the ABA. You know, not the NBA, but the ABA. I know he was drafted in football and even, yeah, he was drafted even in football, even though he never played football. It's like at least Kirk Gibson, when he was drafted by football, he actually played football. But yeah, Dave Winfield was drafted by the football. It was drafted by baseball. And it was drafted in basketball, too. Baseball, basketball, and football. Obviously not hockey. North Carolina, 1972 against West Virginia, 71. And it's NC with the win. Bobby Jones, 14 points. Bob McAdoo with 23 points. The McAdoo. Is that George Karl? Future NBA legendary coach for Seattle and Denver, among other teams. I need to know. Yeah, it is George Karl. Hey, small world. All right, so our first Sweet 16 is 1970 Jacksonville against 1971 Tennessee State. So Artis Gilmore against the HBC. I think they're both were HBCs. And Jacksonville wins 191. Tennessee State gave it all they had. 32 from Yale, 18 from McLean, but in the end, it was Artis Gilmore, 31 points, playing all 40 minutes. and doing his job. So Jacksonville, the 1970 runners-up, are in the next round. Next up will be UCLA. Well, the school that beat them, not the actual team. They played Providence, who were a decent team in 73. And LA wins 973. 27 from Walton, 21 from Bibby. Wilkes did okay. And Holyfield had 17 minutes off the bench. But 25 from DiGregorio. And Providence loses. I would say Marvin Barnes. I guess that was earlier. Next up is 70 LSU with Pistol Pete against 71 Ohio State. And Pistol Pete will lose. He had 39 points. He was basically a one-man crew, scoring more than half his team's points again. But Horniak had 34 points for OSU. That was pretty good. Point guard on point guard. Violence isn't good. But Ohio State, Kachi. Next up, 1970 Notre Dame with Boston College against 72 Minnesota with one Dave Winfield. And it's Winfield on top of Notre Dame, 88-74. Winfield did not play that game. I think he got hurt. 30 points from Berhagen. Austin Carr, 36 points. He was known for scoring points in bunches. Next, 71 Kansas against 72 Virginia. And it's Virginia who will move on to the quarterfinals, 94-91, 23 from Hugbut. Ration Parkhill, not really any big name players. Round with 25 for Kansas. Next up, we'll have 72 Florida State against 70 South Carolina. And it's FSU who will move on to the quarterfinals. As 15 from Samuel, their top point getter off the bench. 19 from Owens. Riker getting 10. 74 NC State against their in-state rivals, 72 North Carolina. So let's see if who will be McAdoo or Thompson. Thompson, McAdoo. It is going to be, wow, McAdoo and NC State choked against North Carolina. 43 from Wozniak. It wasn't McAdoo who was the hero. It was Wozniak. Or Wozniak. David Thompson had 23, Stoddard 10, Burleson 16, Money told 12. The bench had their moments, but North Carolina won a first half at home against their perpetual rivals. What a rivalry. 73 Kentucky against 74 Maryland. And it's Maryland who will survive. 21 from Andrews, 21 for Connor. 20 from Tom McMillan, Len Elmer, 16 points. Yeah, 74 Maryland doing better than NC State. It's like, yippee. Quarterfinals, 70 Jacksonville against 72 Florida State. The Battle of Florida. And in the end, it's Jacksonville who will go to the semifinals over everyone else. Artis Gilmore, 23 points. Morgan, 10. 16 from King, 14 from McCurry. Robert Royals doing his job. 2-1. Well, 72 North Carolina, their reward for taking down NC State will take on 71 Ohio State. And a sweep by NC over Ohio State. Probably the only sport where you can see NC beat Ohio State. Sorry, football team, but whatever. Every North Carolina starter had at least 10 points. Chamberlain had 14. They were basically all about sharing the ball in game 2 against Ohio State, ruining Clemens' chances. Next up, we have 72 UCLA against 74 Maryland. Maryland was hoping to make the final and try to ruin UCLA's chances. And in the end, it was LA crushing Maryland 88-66 in game 3. Walton, 23 points, Bibby, 8. They had good scoring, 21 from McMillan, but the bench, 6-5. 72 Minnesota against 72 Virginia. Who will win? It will be Virginia, who will get to the semifinals. Poor Minnesota. I feel so bad for Dave Winfield, but he had a crappy day. 4 points in 35 minutes of play. It was basically Virginia with the scoring. So, semifinals. Yeah, did they screw up or something? Ah, frig. Yeah, everything. I'll back up. Yeah, for some strange reason, I'm getting this in play. 72 North Carolina versus 70 Jacksonville. The best of 5. And what the? Jacksonville wins the semifinal. Holy crap. Artis Gilmore and the Jacksonville Dolphins are in the finals. They beat the 72 North Carolina Tar Heels of Bob McAdoo, Bobby Jones, and George Carl. And Chamberlain 22 points off the bench. But Jacksonville wins? Holy Saint Laurent. Yeah, something's. Oh my God. You just can't. You kidding me? Well, I know that UCLA was supposed to play 72 Virginia. Now what am I going to do? They jammed it up. Now what am I going to do? I see Jacksonville. Guess not. Fuck. I guess you can't. Oh, cool. They have all that. Does autoplay? I guess we'll have to autoplay. 71 72 North Carolina. So wait, it could 72 Virginia. That's auto. We'll have to autoplay. 70 Jacksonville. They were supposed to play the final. I guess you can't. Yes, you can't. Well, that's just pure stupid. It screwed me over. Well, I'm assuming that, well, due to the fact that it is UCLA, so 72 UCLA squad will take first, Jacksonville will take second, North Carolina, 72 North Carolina will take third, and fourth will go to 72 Virginia. In a sense, I should just make it all 72 and then put the 70 Jacksonville and make them the better team. Like 72, maybe do like give like Minnesota that spot in fourth place, but that wouldn't be fair. Yeah, 3 out of 4. No, that and with the fact that 65 to 69, 51 to 64, and then the 4 tournaments I will purchase later on, probably much next week. Yeah, that's 16. All right. So it'll be 72 UCLA number 1, 70 Jacksonville number 2, 72 North Carolina number 3, and 72 Virginia will take number 4. But at least Jacksonville got through. All right. Fuck. Can make it a season. Free format, no seeded teams. What's the 1965 to 69 TR and Y? Thank goodness for that. 65, 69. All right, so each school getting one. Like if you have double, Davidson, 1965. Dayton, I think 67 was better. A lot of these schools have only had one team, one very good team. So 66. Well, Kentucky did lose the title, but they did good. Marquette, let's go 1969. Let's go to the middle. Michigan 65. Cassie Russell. North Carolina 69, I think. Ohio State 68. 65 would be a little too early. Um, for Princeton teams, I think 60. Yeah, 65 with Will Bradley. Purdue, I think 69 was close. So they're good times. Good times are rolling. No, good times are rolling. UCLA, the best team was 67 68 when they rallied. Vanderbilt, let's go 1968. Wisconsin, sure. All right. Army, sure. Boston College, no. BYU, sure. Columbia, sure. UConn, no. A little too early. Detroit, sure. Drake, yeah. Duke, yeah. Evansville, sure. Florida, not so much. Eastern Illinois. Indiana, sure. I know that was before Bob Knight, but sure. Iowa, yeah. Kentucky, yeah. Wheatland, yeah. LaSalle, yeah. Louisville, no. Loyola, yeah. Miami, with Rick Barry? Yeah. Yes. Michigan State, yes. Minnesota, yeah. Niagara. Northwestern, Ohio State, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma State, sure. Oregon State. You know what I'm looking for. Oregon State, Princeton, Providence. Yeah, I think they had a good team. St. Joe's, San Francisco, Santa Clara, Southern Illinois, St. Bonaventure, St. John's, Syracuse, Temple, Tennessee. I don't think so. UTEP, yeah, national champs. 67 Toledo. Trinity gets a team. Weber gets a team. Utah, I think, gets a team. Vanderbilt already has a team. West Virginia, yeah. So Kentucky, Wichita, Winston-Salem. So yeah, so we're gonna have a 48 team tournament for the 60s because you got a lot of schools that should get some chances. So 7 game finals, 7 8 quarters, and then everyone else is like 1 game. All right. So 65 to 69 is set up, and we'll do that next time. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.